Good morning, class. Now we're gonna start our third chapter in history, that is the Delhi Sultanates. In previous chapter, you have learned about the reason like Kaveri Delta become the center of large kingdoms. Now we are coming to this here. Did you notice that there was no mention of kingdom with the Delhi as its capital ever? Yes, because Delhi became an important city only in the 12th century. And why it is becoming an important city? Coming to that topic here. Delhi first became the capital of a kingdom under the Tomar Rajput who were defeated in the middle of 12th century by the Chauhans, also refers to as Chamanas of Ajmer. It was under the Tomar and the Chauhans that Delhi became an important commercial center. Many rich Jain merchants lived in the city and constructed several temples. Coin minted here, called Delhiwal, had a wide circulation. So, Delhi first time become the capital under the Tomar Rajput, and secondly it is defeated by the Chauhan of Ajmer in mid 12th century. So under the Tomar and Chauhans that Delhi became an important commercial center, an important commercial center for coins minted. What is coin minted? वो जगह जहाँ पे coins बनाई जाती है वो दिल्ली में कमर्शियली उसका बिल्डअप होने लगा. सेकेंड पॉइंट पे आए तो टेम्पल्स, यहाँ के जो टेम्पल्स हैं दिस ऑल्सो मेक दिस सिटी वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अ कमर्शियल सेंटर. इन योर प्रीवियस class you have studied how the temple become a commercial center. Everybody gathered there for their political activities, social activities, and in their functional activities also. Now coming to the next paragraph, that is your third paragraph here. The foundation of Delhi Sultanates starts in the 13th century. Okay, and the Delhi Sultanate is the name which is given to the five dynasty together. Okay, so I'm just clarifying one thing, that Delhi Sultanate is not a ruler or a dynasty. It is the combination, or it is a combining of five major dynasties that is named together made the Delhi Sultanates. Okay, you will see in page number 31 this thing. And first is your Rajput dynasties, early Turkish ruler, Khalji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty, Sayyid and Lodi dynasty. Here, the Delhi Sultanate made many cities in the area that we know as Delhi. So Delhi Sultans have made many small cities under this area, which we named after, that is Delhi. So under this area, Delhi Khwana, okay, Siri, Jahapana, you please see here, it is straightly given here, Siri, Jahapana, Delhi, Khwana. So this area makes your Delhi area. Okay, coming to the next page here. So this page, class, this page please see. I told you about the ruler of Delhi. Okay, under this you have your Rajputs. Okay, you have Rajputs. Then you have your early Turkish, Khalji, Tughlaq. Okay, Sayyid, Lodi dynasty. Please thorough with this because it is very important from your exam point of view. As the rulers, you should name it or learn it. Okay, just learn it by heart because for one marker it is very important for your upcoming exams. Now, coming to the next topic, that is finding out about the Delhi Sultans. Okay, although the inscriptions and coins and architectures provide a lot of information, especially valuable are histories. Okay, histories, in a simple word, I will say about the person, about the history, about the story of that particular sultan or ruler is known as histories. Okay, these histories were known as tariq in a singular sense and tariq in a plural sense. Please, pronunciation is very clear: tariq for singular and tariq for plural, which provide a lot of information about any person or any dynasty, is known as tariq. Written in Persian language, and this language is the administrative language under the Delhi Sultans. So, which language is considered as a administrative language in Delhi Sultan's time is your Persian language. This is very important. Okay, now here, how the books were binded or how the manuscripts were binded or stages of making the manuscripts are given with the example plus picture. Here, preparation of page in figure A. Okay, this person is making the paper. Then B is writing the text. Now the person writing the text. Third is melting of gold to highlight the important words and passages. So what is the use of highlighting on why he melting? So suppose you highlight your main word or terms with the highlighter of any color, that is your yellow or anything. Same way, at that time people used to melt gold and highlights the word which is very important and which is known by everybody. So this activity is prefer at that time. D, preparing the bindings. Okay, after writing the book or after writing the manuscript by the scribes, they prepare by binding it, uh, packing the whole pages into a one bundle and making a useful for anybody to read in a good way or in a sequence way. So binding is very important. Now coming to the this paragraph here, the author of Tariq were learned men. Okay, they were learned men and they supposed to be a learned men because they used to write a things about the inscription about the dynasty. So they used to be very learned men. So under this, the people or the author which is considered in this is secretaries, administrators, poets and courtiers who recounted event and advised rulers on the governance and important justice for rule. So this is other activities which is very important for secretaries and administration, poets, courtiers. They advise rulers on governance, आपको कैसा गवर्न करना चाहिए, आपको जस्टिस कैसा करना चाहिए, आपके रूल्स कितने इंपॉर्टेंस होने चाहिए उसके. So this is about the Tariq. Now coming to this small box at page number 32, the circle of justice. फक्र एक Mudabir wrote in 13th century. Okay, what he wrote? He wrote that किंग तब तक सरवाइव कर सकता है जब तक उसके सोल्जर्स हैं, और सोल्जर्स तब तक सरवाइव कर सकते हैं जब तक उनकी सैलरीज उन्हें मिल रही है. और सैलरीज आपकी रेवेन्यू में डिपेंड होती है जो आपके पेजेंट्स देते हैं. अब पेजेंट्स के लिए क्या इंपॉर्टेंट है? prosperous and happiness, and this prosperous and happiness depend on the king. Why? When king promotes justice and honest governance, this leads to a prosperous happiness. So this is the circle of justice. If king wants soldiers, so soldiers want salary, and salary needs revenue. That simply means a tax which is collected from peasants, and in return peasants also need a prosperous happy life, and which is provided or which is given by the king on the basis of their honesty in governance and promote justice. So this is very important, and this should be important in everyday lives also. So please learn the name of Fakr-e Mudabir, very important. Now coming to the page number 33, here first paragraph, some more details were given about the Tuareg, that these people lived in cities and hardly ever in the villages. So these people were lived in the cities. They are not allowed to go in the villages or interact with the lower caste people. Secondly, they wrote hope of rich rewards. Okay, they write the scripts, or they write the manufactures or manuscripts only only in terms of good rich rewards. And thirdly, they advise ruler on the need to preserve an ideal social order based on birthright and gender distinctions. So this is very important, please understand it. He advised the ruler to maintain a social ideal order. What is social ideal order is birthright. Suppose, here comes, suppose you are belonging to a very great family or very rich settled family, and the job is also very good. So next generation or a next generation child will also join the same job or a same happy job which is firstly done by the parents. So at that time, people used to do the same work what their parents do. जो आपके पेरेंट्स पहले काम करते, सपोज दे वर अ राइटर और दे वर अ पोएट, सो द नेक्स्ट जनरेशन is supposed to be the same poet writer, but this is not so important in today's world. Okay, this is according to the Tuareg, that they advise the ruler to maintain the birthright. अगर आप जन्म से किसी कुल के हैं, या आप जन्म से किसी फाइनेंशियली सेटल्ड फैमिली के साथ हैं, तो आपकी जो परवरिश के अकॉर्डिंग ही आपकी जॉब भी उसी के हिसाब से होगी. अब आते हैं जेंडर डिस्टिंक्शन से. अब जेंडर डिस्टिंक्शन क्या होता है? सपोज इफ यू आर अ बॉय और अ गर्ल और अ वुमेन एंड अ मैन, ओके, the society or deal with the both people in a different way. Okay, society thinks that men are superior to women, which is just a myth at nowadays. Social and biological differences between the women and men, for example, social and biological differences is just created by the people. Okay, so women were considered as weak in a physical work, and men is considered as more stronger than women. So this gender distinction is to be maintained in this 13th century. Okay, why this is maintained? Because they don't want the women to come up to ask their right. So these are the things, and at that times women were also not considered as the person which also have the right to live in the same circumstances as the men live. Okay, their ideas were shared by everybody. Okay, so shared by everybody, but only the things which is separated to kings. So the ideas which is given to the king, it just remains to the king, it is not spread or shared by anybody. Okay, now coming to the sultans, the first woman sultan, we will discuss about this now. Okay, in 1236, Sultan Iltutmish daughter razia Razia, she was very qualified and more able than all her brothers. Okay, 1236 के समय सुल्तान इल्तुतमिश थे, जो कि आपके टर्किश रूलर थे। उनकी एक बेटी थी जिनका नाम था रजिया। रजिया अपने तीनों भाइयों से ज़्यादा क्वालिफाइड, ज़्यादा ऑनेस्ट एंड ज़्यादा ही क्वालिफाइड थी, क्योंकि ये क्रॉनिकलर ऑफ दैट टाइम, दैट इज मिनहाज ए सिराज ने लिखा है, उसके अकॉर्डिंग ये हमें समझ में आता है। रजिया उस समय सबसे पहली एक किंग बनी, जो कि एक क्वीन थी, जो कि क्वीन थी, बट उनको किंग का दर्जा दिया गया, इसीलिए दिल्ली सल्तनत में उनको सुल्तान कहा गया। But according to the chronicler, but he was not comfortable at having a queen as a ruler. So people or the chronicler were not happy that a queen is leading a dynasty, and nor able happy, or nor nobles happy at her attempt to rule independently. Secondly, the nobles, the people who are the courtiers of the court, they were also not happy that she is independently ruling. And the third, which is very important, is she was removed from the throne in 1240, that is उनको 4 साल में ही उन्हें अपने सुल्तान पद से हटना पड़ा, जो कि एक अलग वे ऑफ थिंकिंग था उस समय का, जो कि आपका ये जेंडर डिस्टिंक्शन को डिस्क्राइब करता है, रज़िया सुल्तान का ये एग्जाम्पल। अगर हम इस बॉक्स पे आए, व्हाट मियाज ए सिराज थॉट अबाउट द रज़िया, क्वींस रूल वर नॉट अगेंस्ट द आइडल सोशल ऑर्डर क्रिएटेड बाय द गॉड। सो मिराज ए सिराज कहते हैं कि अकॉर्डिंग टू द गॉड, जो उन्होंने रूल बनाया है, उससे ये कभी भी जाहिर नहीं होता कि क्वीन रूल करनी चाहिए। इट इज़ अगेंस्ट द आइडिया ऑफ द गॉड। एंड सेकेंडली, वुमेन वर सपोज टू बी अ सबॉर्डिनेट टू द मैन। सबॉर्डिनेट मतलब मैन के अंडर उन्हें काम करना चाहिए, यानी कि उनके अंदर वो काम करें, उनके ऊपर वो काम ना करें। ये थी बात रज़िया सुल्तान की। ऐसा ही कुछ आपके वारंगल आंध्र प्रदेश में हो रहा था, जहाँ पे रुद्र महादेवी थी, जो काकतीय डायनेस्टी की थी, जिन्होंने वहाँ पे भी रूल किया। उनके इंस्क्रिप्शन में उन्होंने अपने आप को दिखाया है। और उसके बाद एक हैं आपकी दीदा, जो कश्मीर की रूलर थी। ओके, और हर टाइटल वो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, दीदी, दैट इज एल्डर सिस्टर, as obviously affectionate term given to the loved ruler by her subjects. So this is about your queen Razia Sultan.